we are about to get underway. It certainly looks like the first couple of drivers on the dummy grid, which is the grid that just sits off the main circuit. So unlike Formula One, where they line them up on the circuit themselves, here in kart racing, we line them up on a dummy grid, which is just outside of the main circuit. They then roar onto circuit, and we are underway with 10 minutes of DRS100 qualifying. Interesting to see who we think will be the early pace setters here, certainly based on the seeded drivers from last year. We will look out for, and we are tracking at the moment, the number 2 of Alicia Palmovsky. Keep an eye on Dylan Brealey as well, the number 5, as they start their initial laps around this 10 minutes or so. I think everybody's pretty much out there as well, so we've got a busy circuit, and the drivers will look to get themselves that clear air to put in the best possible lap time during this 10-minute qualifying session. So Palmovsky is the initial driver to look out for. She's going to be the first to break the timing beam. She is the first to break the timing beam, 38.141. Now, don't read too much into that, because that is effectively an outlap for these drivers. So they will start to settle into things. They will start to build their way up in terms of getting some grip from those tyres. Those tyres will start to come to life, certainly based on what we saw from the DRS125 drivers, maybe come to life about lap 4 or 5. Could be the optimum time to get those lap times in, as here comes down the inside the number 5 of Dylan Brealey. Currently, he's just going through the timing screens now. He's currently down in 18th place. I would certainly expect him to be a little bit more towards the sharp end. Palmovsky is the early pace setter then, a 37.162 from Alicia. Finley Watson is second fastest, just around about a 10th of a second behind. As Palmovsky now embroiled in a little bit of a battle, which won't actually do her lap time much good here, but it does ruin lap times when you overtake drivers. It does slow you down to go off the racing line, and you do tend to lose a little bit of momentum, which does take a couple of corners to regain that speed. But at the moment, Palmovsky is still the driver to beat. Henry Foote is up into second place. Finley Watson is in third. Freddie Cox now up into fourth place, so a 37.356 for Freddie Cox. He's some 0.2 of a second, give or take, behind Palmovsky, so keep an eye on the 144 of Freddie Cox. And then Oscar Walmsley-Jones is behind him. Bryn Calder is 6th, and Rowan Campbell-Pillin 7th fastest. As up goes into 3rd, Maximilian Solarski, who is displaced more or less immediately by Sam Hale-Hicksman. And Palmovsky is now been demoted down from the fastest driver on circuit. We have one driver who's dipped below the 37-second barrier, and that's Henry Foote, 36.975. So Foote, Palmovsky, Hale-Hicksman is 3rd. Solarski is 4th. Finley Watson is up into 5th. Freddie Cox is now down into 6th. Aaron Mensah up into 7th, made 15 places on that last lap. So the first real flying lap for Aaron Mensah. 37.5 for him last time round. Henry Foote completes another lap, but doesn't go faster this time. 36.975 the lap time to be from Henry Foote, the 138. The drivers swing through this double apex left, and then they head towards this really fast chicane, which takes them towards the final corner. Long right-hander. They want to get on the power as quickly as they possibly can, carry as much speed down this long main straight. As we look towards Palmovsky now, who's gone fastest again, so 36.879 now for Alicia Palmovsky. She now goes back to the top of the timesheet. Henry Foote is demoted down into third. Finley Watson into second, rather. Finley Watson to third. Sam Haller-Hicksman is fourth. And then Maximilian Salarski is still in fifth. Freddie Cox is still in sixth, 37.3, as Cox goes faster this time, up 2 places into fourth, and then demoted immediately by Salarski, who crosses the timing beam just around about 1/10 of a second quicker. There's lots of movement on our timing screens at the moment as drivers start to come into an optimal window for the tyres. Palmovsky still fastest. Just the 2 drivers who've ducked below 37 flat. That's Palmovsky and Henry Foote, the number 2, and the number 138, who you're seeing now just drop down towards turn 4. This double apex left. The 138's got a little bit of traffic at the moment for Henry Foote. Now, what does he do here? Does he try and cut his way through the traffic, try and get a bit of a tour? He might have got a tour, indeed, off the 128 driver of Oscar Walmsley-Jones. Has he gone faster this time? No, he hasn't. Watson is still third. Salarski fourth. Freddie Cox is fifth. So the 144 of Freddie Cox, 5th place at the moment. Needs to find around about 1/10 of a second to go faster. Needs to find 3 or 4/10 of a second to go to the top of the timesheets, because Palmovsky has gone faster again, 36.6. Another 1/10 of a second shaved off from the number 2 of Alicia Palmovsky. The chasing pack is led by Henry Foote. Rowan Campbell-Pilling is up into third, so 37 flat for Rowan Campbell-Pilling, and Watson goes faster again. So Finley Watson now a 37.060 for him. Salarski has dropped down to 5th, and Cox dropped down 1 to 6th. Jamie Scott is 7th, Bryn Calder is 8th. The other drivers that are making moves in this field at the moment, Riven Welsh has just gone up into 19th place. And Aaron Mensah up into 12th, has improved on the last lap. And Cox goes third. So Freddie Cox now is on the move, has moved up into third place. He's gone faster than Henry Foote on the last lap. And in response, Henry Foote gives a 36.897 and moves back up into second place. Finley Watson now up into third. So Cox, who'd gone from 6th to 3rd, now drops down again to 4th. But he is now in a group of 4 drivers who've all ducked under the 37-second barrier. As we get towards the last 2 minutes, there is still time here, and Campbell-Pilling now up into 3rd. The number 108 is up into 3rd place as they stream through the turn 2, the right-hander. They flick down towards turn 3, under braking, long double apex right. A little battle between the 138 of Henry Foote, who's now down into 4th. So Henry Foote is in the traffic here, and that is allowing for the likes of Finley Watson, who's moved up into 2nd, and Rowan Campbell-Pilling, who's moved up into 3rd. But nobody at the moment can get anywhere near the 0.3 of a second that they need to get on terms with Alicia Palmovsky. Palmovsky is the quickest driver out there, the number 2, and he's going quicker pretty much every lap as well. Now, let's have a look from our vantage point here, just to see whereabouts Palmovsky is in terms of track position. We're just watching the drivers stream through the start-finish line. As just past us now goes Palmovsky, so she's just heading into turn 2 on her way up to the bumpy entry of turn 3. 36.5 is the time to beat. Finley Watson is 2nd, 36.7, so 0.2 away from the fastest driver on circuit. So Palmovsky leads the session. 13 laps have been completed. We've only got just around about, what have we got? Less than a minute now. So this is probably going to be 2 laps left for them. If they can all cross the timing beam before that 10 minutes elapses, they will get one final lap. So we'll keep an eye on the time. We'll keep an eye on the drivers who are improving as well. Dylan Brearley up into 8th. He's made 2 places. And Ali Hussein has moved up into 14th place on that last lap. Right then, we are heading towards the closing stage of this DRS100 qualifying session. Palmovsky will get one more go at this. She'll get one more lap. She'll cross the timing beam before the 10 minutes is up, I think. Over, start, finish, they come then. So all these drivers on screen are going to get one more lap at this. The checker flag is going to come out, and the checker flag comes out for the 1:08. So Rowan Campbell-Pilling has completed his last lap. He will do no better than a 36.8. Will he hold on to that 3rd place? We're looking for the drivers who come over, start, finish now and improve. We're looking for them to cross the line, and Palmovsky no faster this time. Finley Watson no faster, and I don't think there's any improvements from the drivers in the top 5 positions. So it looks like it will be as we were, which is Palmovsky, fastest driver, 15 laps completed, 36.593 is the fastest lap time of the session. Finley Watson in 2nd place, 36.747, some 1.5 tenths of a second behind Alicia Palmovsky. Rowan Campbell-Pilling in 3rd place, Henry Foote in 4th, Freddie Cox in 5th, Charlie Ratford in 6th. Maximilian Solarski is the 7th fastest driver, Dylan Brearley is 8th, Sam Halley-Hicksman is 9th, and Oscar Walmsley-Jones is the 10th fastest driver. All 10 of those drivers covered by just around half a second, which gives you an indication of how close it could be when we head towards the first heat for the DRS 100 drivers. So Alicia Palmovsky, it's a case of job done as the drivers head into Parc Fermé. They will undertake all the post-qualifying checks, and then the official results of qualifying will be published by our timekeeping team here. So welcome back to our first heat for the DRS 100s, led out onto circuit by our fastest driver in the qualifying session this morning. This was Alicia Palmovsky, the number 2. So she leads the group out. Alongside her is the 1-2-6 of Finley Watson. And they're heading round on their formation lap. So as we said earlier on, the drivers will all complete an F1 style formation lap, get some heat into the tyres and brakes and all the component parts that require preparing for battle. And they'll come under a really leisurely formation, and certainly probably the best of our 3 classes so far at looking like they are ready to go. We have got quite a few drivers just joining the back of the field, so I wouldn't be surprised if we go round again. The officials are looking, yes, and have signalled that we will go round for one more lap, so Palmovsky can just stretch her legs once more. They'll certainly pick up the speed at the start of this formation lap before they have to come back under some sort of starter's orders in the closing stages of this 900-metre lap. I'm just looking down in front of us now. We've got a driver, the 152 kart of Ethan Critchley, is just rejoining the field. I don't think they'll wait for him. I think he needs to... Oh, he's got a problem. So Critchley is going to stop. He's going to park up on the inside of turn 1. Looks fairly terminal to me, that one. So that's not going to affect the start here. So Palmovsky and Watson 1 and 2. Would there be a yellow flag into turn 1 now? They probably need to get that. If they're happy that it's in a safe place, it'll probably be okay. Doesn't look to be a yellow flag at the marshal post. So we are going to be, or is there going to be a yellow flag? There is. This is interesting. So we've got a yellow flag that they can't overtake. So how's that going to work as they head into turn 1? So there's a yellow flag from the dummy grid marshal on the way into the first corner, which in theory means they can't overtake. There was a bit of overtaking because that's the nature of 20-odd carts trying to get into the first corner first. So let's just see how that pans out. We are underway and we are racing into turn 4. Comes our new race leader. Where's Palmowski gone? So where is the number 2 of Alicia Palmowski? Back in 3rd place by the looks of it, so not the best of starts. No, I suppose the argument for Alicia Palmowski would be, well, there was a yellow flag over start-finish at the start of the race, so how have I gone from 1st to 3rd in those opening few corners? There's a spinner as well just down below us. There's 2 carts that have come to blows at the entry into the first turn. And now there is a waved yellow flag over start-finish, so interesting beginning to this DRS100 first heat. So we'll give you a running order. It's Finley Watson who made the most of that start. Behind him is Henry Foote. And then Palmowski with some work to do now. So Palmowski's got to get on terms with these two. She was the quickest by a couple of tenths in the qualifying session this morning, so we would imagine that she has got the pace. Rowan Campbell-Pilling is up into 4th. Charlie Radford has lost a couple of places down to 6th, and Sam Halley-Hicksman is between them in 5th. So the leaders then swing through the left-hander. 4 of them almost together as they go through the chicane, and it's still Finley Watson who leads. There is differing lines into the right-hander of the final corner here at Hooton Park. Now then, who is got the pace here? Fastest driver on circuit is Rowan Campbell-Pilling, so the 108 in 4th place at the moment as Palmowski just defends that inside, and down the inside a change for the lead. So late braking from Foote. Here comes Palmowski down the outside of all of them. Is she going to go around the outside and take a place? I don't think she's. In fact, she may lose a place by trying to go around the outside. She takes to the rumble strip and she has lost a place to Rowan Campbell-Pilling, who ever the opportunistic dive down the inside. So new leader and a new 3rd place as well. Watson then leads, Foote then leads. Watson is 2nd, 3rd is Campbell-Pilling. Palmowski absolutely together, these 4, as they swing round to complete another lap. 5th place is Sam Halley-Hicksman. Then Freddie Cox is up into 6th as well, and down the inside this time goes Campbell-Pilling up into 2nd, so it certainly looks like the entry into turn 3 is the place for overtaking manoeuvres for these DRS 100 drivers. Foote then leads through the chicane, then into the final corner. He'll peek back into view and down the long start-finish straight here. Here they are then, all sticking to the left-hand side as they swing into turn 1. Now, turn 3 then is the place for Campbell-Pilling. Will he have a look down the inside under brakes? No, because defensive goes Henry Foote. That will concertina them up a little bit as down the inside goes Palmowski. Does she? Yes, up into 3rd place. So Finley Watson has gone from 1st to 4th in the space of a couple of laps here. Round 1 of the DRS series here at Hooton Park in the northwest of England. Just a couple of miles outside of Ellesmere Port. We're live on YouTube and Facebook as the leaders go into the right-hander once more. And Campbell-Pilling did have a little look, didn't he, as they went up into turn 1. A little wave from Henry Foote as if to say, don't just attack me here. But what is happening at the moment is Henry Foote is backing them up here because this was a 4-cart battle for the lead. Now look at the likes of Sam Halley-Hicksman and Freddie Cox, who are involved in this, as is Maximilian Salarski. So Foote not really got the pace at the front. In fact, he's at 2/10 slower than the fastest lap of the race. So this is now becoming a 7-cart battle for the lead, led by Henry Foote, the number 138. Campbell-Pilling 2nd, Palmowski is 3rd, then Watson, Halley-Hicksman, Cox and Salarski. That is your running order of the first 7. Dylan Brealey is up to 8. Jamie Scott is 9th. Bryn Calder is 10th. Aaron Mensah is up into 11th. But with no change at the front, and the chasing pack is led by Rowan Campbell-Pilling. They're after Henry Foote. Palmowski, not quite shown the pace of qualifying so far, Alicia Palmowski, although she has just done the fastest lap of the race so far. 36.899 for Alicia Palmowski, who's up into second. So, just as we were saying, she hadn't shown the pace. She turns on the afterburners and is now after Henry Foote. So Palmowski, the driver on the move at the moment, through the left-hand of this double left of turn 4, up towards the chicane, and Foote knows it, doesn't he? He has a little look over his right shoulder. He'll see that it's the number 2, last year's runner-up in the DRS100 class. Now, when does Henry Foote start to go defensive? He's got 2 minutes to go here. He certainly can't drive around the inside of this Hooton Park Circuit. He'll get picked off at some point. There is a back marker coming into view as well, and there's a spinner as well. The 155 of Kai Newman spins and will come into the clutches of these lead group. There should be blue flags out there from the officials as the back marker goes wide and spins, so that's helped the front 4 or 5 to get past without any sort of drama. Leaders then back into my view here. Palmowski to the inside, to the outside. Will she have a look into turn 1? No, it's a very fast corner to have a dive down the inside into turn 1. But this could get very tasty indeed in the last 90 seconds. We've got a warning for Solarski as well. So Solarski, who's currently in 5th place. A little bit of contact maybe on Freddie Cox to get up into that 5th place. Now look at these 3 here. It's a 3-car battle for the lead. We've got back markers coming up as well, and we've probably 3 or 4 laps remaining. Into the final corner they go. They swing out towards the start-finish straight as we look at the replay of the spinner. I can tell you that there's no change in the leaders. They are heading through turn 2 and up towards some back markers. Needs to be some blue flags out there now. Need the marshals to get the blue flags out and make sure that these following drivers are fully aware there is blue flags now into turn 4 as the leaders approach. It is still Foote. And then the number 2 of Alicia Palmowski, and then Rowan Campbell-Pilling. You would imagine our race winner is going to come from one of these 3. The back markers then who are in the way, it has to be said. Will the 155 relinquish? No, he doesn't. The leaders are right on top of him now. They'll have to find a way past through 2. They all get held up through turn 2. There's a little bit of a bump from Henry Foote onto the back marker, which was Kai Newman, and to be fair to him, he's absolutely entitled to do so because Newman should have been out the way. That has led to Foote coming under pressure though. Palmowski's down the outside. Will she try and stick it around the outside? She does, but she's not going to make it stick, and Campbell-Pilling dives down the inside of her and into 2nd place. So Foote held the inside line. He made sure that Palmowski had to go the long way around, and in doing so, she has lost her place to the new 2nd place driver who dives down the inside. Does he make it stick? No. Campbell-Pilling then on the attack on the inside into turn 2, and Rowan Campbell-Pilling is our new race leader. He gives a little wave over his shoulders as if to say, please don't come back at me. Of course they're going to come back at you, Rowan. It's the final lap, and they run wide, and here comes Palmowski down the inside. Is she made it stick? She has, and Foote has dropped from 1st to 2nd to 3rd, and Campbell-Pilling has lost a place as well. We're into the final stages of the last lap. Palmowski, has she timed this absolutely perfectly? It looks as if she has. She comes to the start finish on the checker flag, and Alicia Palmowski wins the first DRS100 heat. Rowan Campbell-Pilling is 2nd. Henry Foote, who led for so long, is down in 3rd place. Finley Watson is 4th. Hallie Hicksman is 5th. What a dramatic conclusion to the first DRS100 heat. And Alicia Palmowski, who timed her move to absolute perfection, has won the race. 2nd, Rowan Campbell-Pilling. 3rd is Henry Foote. They make their way around to head towards Parc Fermé. Maximilian Solarski was 6th, Freddie Cox was 7th, Dylan Brealey was 8th, Jamie Scott was 9th, and Bryn Calder was 10th. Well, if that's anything to go by, we will be in for an absolute cracker this afternoon, the DRS100 pre-final. I can tell you, if you want to set your alarms, is due for just around about 2 this afternoon. Their main final is the last final of the day at 3. What a race. What a race between these young drivers. And Alicia Parmovsky comes out with that race win. So our last of the pre-finals then. The DRS 100s on circuit in just around 2 minutes' time. And led by our heat number 1 winner. And didn't she time it just about to perfection, Alicia Parmovsky, the number 2 inside of the front row. So following this race, we've got the grand finals, the main finals this afternoon for the 3 classes, the DRS62s, the DRS125s, and again, the DRS100s. They'll all have a main final to come this afternoon. The timings of those main finals, if you want to set your reminders, the drivers come out for the DRS62 grand final at 3:15. At 3:05, the DRS125s, and the grand final for the karts you're about to see do their pre-final is scheduled for 3:25 this afternoon. So here they come then for our last pre-final. We've still got one just to restart on the dummy grid. That hasn't quite got away the same pace as everyone else, but Parmovsky leads them away. They'll have 2 warm-up laps. They'll navigate this 900-metre circuit a couple of times. And then they will head, their attention will be towards the lights on the gantry to see if we can get away first time and who will get into that first corner first. So Parmovsky will start on the inside of the front row. Rowan Campbell-Pilling will start alongside the number 108 and Henry Foote, the 138, and Sam Halley-Hicksman, the number 9. Finley Watson, Freddie Cox, Maximilian Salarski and Dylan Brealey. They're the next 4 drivers on the grid. And then Jamie Scott and Bryn Calder are 9th and 10th. They're fairly well formed. So Parmovsky didn't get the best of starts. He did a strange start last time round. Didn't get the best of starts. Henry Foote certainly did get the best of starts last time. What can he do from the inside of the second row? Campbell-Pilling on the outside of the front row will look to get the jump on the pole sitter, Alicia Parmovsky. They're fairly well formed. They look to the light. Do they go first time? They do. And they're side by side as they go into the first corner. But Parmovsky has made the best of starts. Foote, I think, alongside Campbell-Pilling has got through into second place as well. Up towards turn 3 they come. A gaggle of karts into that corner. And it is the number 2 of Alicia Parmovsky. Then looks like Henry Foote has moved into second place. It's the number 9 of Sam Halley-Hicksman who's moved up into third. A superstar from Sam as they go into the chicane for the first time. And he's very wide as they go through. Sam Halley-Hicksman. Over start finish for the first time, and it is Parmovsky and Foote and Hicksman. Campbell-Pilling has recovered into 4th, and Dylan Brealey is up to 5th, and Salarski's up to 6th. I'm just looking at the drivers who've made or lost places. So Finley Watson's dropped all the way down to 13th place. Freddie Cox has lost 10 places as well, down to 15th place. And the drivers that have gained the most, certainly Charlie Ratford up to 11th, made 5 places on that last lap. We've got a spinner, the 128 of Oscar Walmsley-Jones, down in 25th place, and that looks like that's a retirement for Oscar Walmsley-Jones. Here are the leaders then. Parmovsky under pressure, it has to be said, from Henry Foote. as they go down towards turn 4. This double left, and Foot is alongside here. They're side by side, but Palmovsky has the inside line, and we've got more carnage at the back of the field. More drivers involved in skirmishes. But here is your race leader. Alicia Palmovsky heads down the main straight here, past our commentary position and into turn 1. Henry Foot is just in behind. Rowan Campbell-Pilling is now up ahead of Sam Halley-Hicksman. And Campbell-Pilling then into 3rd place. And we know that he's got the pace to be on terms. These were the front 3 last time round, not in this order, because last time Alicia Palmovsky saved her overtaking manoeuvre for the last lap. She doesn't have to do that at the moment because she's out front. She can afford to let Foot and Campbell-Pilling battle it out for 2nd and 3rd, although Foot seemed to get a decent run off the final corner, but he's having to defend from Campbell-Pilling. Sam Halley-Hicksman in 4th place. Looks very ragged, Halley-Hicksman. Looks like he's really struggling to keep that DRS car under control and has lost a place to Dylan Brealey. Brealey then gives him a wave and says, come on then, let's get ourselves towards this front 2. And Hicksman, a little bit untidy again. Sam Halley-Hicksman puts his hand up in frustration. Probably needs to be at himself more than anyone else. He's a little bit ragged around this Hooton Park Circuit. Oh, he's got a problem. He's got a problem as Halley-Hicksman, and there's contact further back. So Halley-Hicksman has a problem. He's trying to get it restarted now. He was just tagged and clipped by one of the drivers who was coming through. I think that was Sam Branston, the 132, and then Halley-Hicksman. Here's the incident then. So as the number 9 of Halley-Hicksman was slowing down, Branston was embroiled in a battle with others and effectively had nowhere to go, and he got just tagged the back of the slowing vehicle, and that caused him to spin and puts him all the way down to 21st place at the moment. Front 3 then, absolutely together as they go into the right-hander at turn 3. They head down to the left at turn 4, long sweeping corner. Just lifts an inside wheel, Palmovsky. It indicates to us that the car is doing as she wants it to do. The inside wheel is lifted because she has good traction from the front wheels, and the weight transfer comes across her body, and then effectively it lifts the inside wheel into turn 1. Now is Henry Foot playing a bit of a waiting game here? He has done the fastest lap of the race so far, a 37.0, as Palmovsky just half covers the inside line just to make sure she stops any advances from Henry Foot. Rowan Campbell-Pilling still there, watching brief in 3rd, through the chicane once more into the final corner. They've got 3 minutes, so still an awful long way to go here, and it's absolutely any one of these 3. He's very narrow, isn't he, Henry Foot, on the way out of the final corner. He does tend to lose a couple of kart lengths. He's very hot going in. You see him close right up under braking into that final corner, but then he seems to lose a couple of kart lengths on the way out. You just wonder if he could be a little bit more conservative, a little bit smoother on the way into that final corner, whether he could get a little bit more exit speed. He could tuck up behind Alicia Palmovsky and perhaps try and find a way through into that first corner. There is a back marker in play as well here, who Palmovsky finds a way past on the main straight will cost her next to no time at all. Here are the leaders then. Through the second of the first 2 turns. And now Campbell-Pilling to the inside of Foot, and Campbell-Pilling, he's going to make him go the long way around, gives him a little squeeze on the exit, but then has to yield the place, and Palmovsky now has a chance. So Palmovsky now, if she can do a couple of very, very quick laps, put a couple of great corners together, she might just break the toe of these front 2. This could be the match here, this could be the game for Alicia Palmovsky, because the 2 behind are more interested in falling over each other rather than focusing on going and trying to win this race. It looks like Henry Foot is more interested in Campbell-Pilling behind, and Pilling's through down the inside into 2nd place. Then waves and says, listen, we're letting her get away here. Let's get after Alicia Parmovsky. 4th place is Dylan Brealey. 5th is Maximilian Solarski, and then Bryn Calder's up to 6th, and Finn Watson made a couple of places now ahead of Sherry-Ann Powell, who is 8th. So then, the gap between Parmovsky and now Rowan Campbell-Pilling is around about a second, or it was last time round. What is it now? Fastest lap of the race so far. What a clever piece of driving that is from Parmovsky. Almost knew when to turn the screw on these two in behind. Knew that she had a little bit of a gap, as we've got a retirement by looks of it for the 132 of Sam Branston. He's been in the war today, hasn't he? But yeah, Parmovsky so clever to know when to really push and get away from Campbell-Pilling, to know when to really put a gap between herself and the drivers behind. And at this stage of the race as well, with probably 3 laps to go, she may well have done enough here. The gap's 1.1 seconds, 36.9. Fastest lap of the race so far for Parmovsky. There's no reply from Pilling at the moment. Tracking just about the same time. We talked about the first heat for Parmovsky, how she timed it effectively to perfection to make sure that she made her overtaking manoeuvres when nobody could come back at her. She did it very expertly indeed. Well, now she's shown us another side of her racecraft and her ability. She saw that there was a small gap as the two behind were falling over each other. She put the hammer down, and now she crosses the line with a 37 flat. It's another super fast lap time. She took another half a tenth out of Rowan Campbell-Pilling. There's a penalty for Sam Halley-Hicksman for advantage by contact. I wonder if that was that incident that we saw earlier on. He's way down the field anyway, back in 19th place at the moment. So we're on the last lap. In fact, we're on the last couple of corners for Alicia Parmovsky. 2 out of 2 then, as she crosses the line to win the pre-final here at the Daniel Ricciardo Series. Round 1 at Hooton Park. 2nd place for Rowan Campbell-Pilling. Henry Foote is up into 3rd. Dylan Brealey is in 4th place. Solarski 5th. Watson 6th. Bryn Calder is 7th. And Sherry-Ann Powell rounds out your top 8. So our final race of the day, our junior category, the DRS100s are on the grid and preparing for their main final. 12 minutes plus a lap for these guys, and they're just about to get themselves ready. We've got a couple of drivers on the front row who've been at the sharp end of this class for the duration of the day. We've got Alicia on the front row there, alongside Rowan Campbell. and cost yourselves, well, is. So Pawłowski's up to 14th. Bit of a recovery drive from both Alicia Pawłowski and Henry Foote. Pawłowski has done a 36.8. So Pawłowski is 3/10 quicker than everybody at the moment. What a shame that we are not going to see Alicia Pawłowski, Rowan Campbell-Pilling and Henry Foote battle this out for the race win, but take nothing away from Rowan Campbell-Pilling. He got the work done early, made the best of the starts, and let everybody else fall over each other. He's now amassed over 5 seconds of a lead, and he'll be well aware as well of the distance between himself and everyone else. He's doing a grand job in this grand final, and he's into paddock corner once more. Freddie Cox then last lap was back up into second. What a good drive it will be from Freddie Cox. I'm a little bit further down the grid. He took advantage where everybody else was tripping over each other. The interesting thing was he was one of the victims, wasn't he, in the pre-final. He had a terrible start. I'm just looking now. I've just looked at Rowan. Here is a really, really big piece of news. I've just looked at Rowan Campbell-Pilling as he's gone past. I think he's got an exhaust loose. I think he's got a loose exhaust. I'm just looking at it now. He has. Rowan Campbell-Pilling has got a loose exhaust. Now, where did the officials see this? So if the officials see that as dangerous, this would be a technical flag. If he gets a technical flag, he needs to come in. He's got a loose exhaust. They'll have to put a technical flag on Rowan Campbell-Pilling. This is a huge moment in the DRS100 final. It is a technical flag for Rowan Campbell-Pilling. And all of a sudden, Freddie Cox, Maximilian Salarski and Dylan Briley are absolutely in the hunt to win this race. What sort of reaction will we get from Rowan Campbell-Pilling? He will be distraught when he sees this. He's going to come round the final corner. He's going to see it this time. This is a technical flag for Rowan Campbell-Pilling. Here it is. He should come in the pit straight away. Will he? He puts his hand to his head. He can't believe it. Here come the remainders, a back marker involved as well. At the moment, it's the 144 of Freddie Cox, who is going to be the beneficiary of this. He's got a back marker to see through. He's got around 2.5 minutes. Campbell-Pilling has slowed right down. He has got a loose exhaust. So one of the exhaust springs has either come off or not been attached properly. He has got a loose exhaust that has to be brought into the pits to be fixed. He will come in this time round, I am sure. He has to come in. If he doesn't come in, he'll get disqualified anyway. It's a flapping rear exhaust. He's continuing. That's not the cleverest thing to do. That is not the cleverest thing to do, because that can lead to further repercussions. They are battling now for the lead of the race, and they are battling as well. Salarski, Briley, Cox is now down to 4th on the road, but effectively that is 3rd place, because into the pits will come Rowan Campbell-Pilling. He has to come in. He can carry on if he wants. But the fact is, he will not be classified in the race at the end. He'll get disqualified for ignoring the flags more than anything else. So the clever and smart thing to do will be just to get in. He's being instructed now by the officials to come in. Is he going to come in? Yes, he is. Here is the battle for the lead then. I wonder if they realise they'll have just seen the leader parking up in paddock. So now then, they must understand that they are leading this race, and Salarski and Briley and Cox. So we thought this was going to be an absolute procession with the race leader. Anything but at the moment, as Cox and Briley squabble over 2nd and 3rd. The race leader, now remember, the race leader, Maximilian Salarski, is under investigation for contact. So this may be another race where we don't actually find out what happens with the win until half an hour after the race. These two then, just going over start-finish now, and into the right-hander of turn 2. Salarski and Cox, 1 and 2. We've got 2 laps, lap and a half. It'll be very interesting to see if they can get to the start-finish line before the lap count. If the time count is over. Cox is quick, isn't he? He's so quick. He's smothered up that gap between himself and Salarski in the last lap. There's about 5 car lengths between them. Now he's right on the tail of Salarski. Will they get through the time? They've got 10 seconds, they will. 2 laps to go here. Here comes Freddie Cox down the inside, and Cox retakes the lead of this race. He's got a lap and a half, a lap and 3/4 just to hold on here. Cox, Salarski, they're into the right-hander then of turn 3. A little bit wide from Freddie Cox. Here is the move where he took the lead. What a shame for Rowan Campbell-Pillion. The young man will be, he thought he'd tied it up, he'd done all the hard work, and it's a technical failure that has led to him. We've got a penalty for Ethan Critchley under investigation as well in 10th place. We'll keep an eye on the leaders. Last lap. Here we go then. Cox, Salarski, Briley. Will it come from one of them? Will Sherry-Ann Powell have a say at the end of this race as well? Here they come then. They're absolutely side by side. It's to the inside, Salarski. Briley to the inside, goes up in second. Here comes Sherry-Ann Powell. And in one corner, Cox is going to go from first to third into the left-hander. Salarski. Briley. Is there a move into the final corner? Here they come. Round it they come. It's not going to be an overtaking manoeuvre this time from Briley. It's going to be Salarski who wins. It is Salarski who wins. It'll be battled out, I'm sure, with the officials later on. But Maximilian Salarski wins an action-packed DRS100 final. Dylan Briley finishing in second place. Freddie Cox just couldn't hold on that final lap. Sherry-Ann Powell with a super drive up into fourth, and Ali Hussein, who made a whole load of places in the final stages to finish in fifth as well. Ben Calder was sixth. What about this then? Alicia Parmovsky was seventh. So from last and adrift on the last lap, what a recovery from Alicia Parmovsky up into seventh place, a 36.7 fastest lap of the race as well for Alicia Parmovsky. But our race winner, Maximilian Salarski, Dylan Briley in second, and Freddie Cox came home in third. Thank you for watching our live stream of the DRS Series Round 1 here at Hooton Park. The trophy presentation is to follow, but from myself, Mark Fell, and all the team here at the DRS Series, thank you very much. So welcome back everybody to the first round of the Daniel Ricciardo Series here at Hooton Park. We're here for the trophy presentation, and we'll start with the DRS 62 drivers. We'll go in reverse order from third to first. So in third place today was number 3, Joshua Turnbull. In second place, just couldn't hold on to that lead spot for the duration, number 121, Connor Scarisbrick.